Nathan Kalama Kalama is a man filled with the Spirit of God and the spirits of his Hawaiian ancestors, as he and his friends bowed their heads to pray at the beginning of a videotaping session.
Wow, Lord! Thank you, Jesus! Woo-ha.
The morning downpour stopped. It's a good omen that we all would be spending time with an exceptional Hawaiian man. Uncle Nathan chanted his genealogy, naming many generations of his ancestors. In this manner, Hawaiians perpetuate their family history and they find their place in the family. He is chanting in the background as he describes his upbringing.
Ai, mahalo. O ke ia ka mauku au hao o ka ohana o ka hapea a Kalama. O ka pena ke kane o na au kiu kiu ka wahine. As far as Hawaiian music is concerned, you know, I was hanai'd by the Kalamas from when I was 3 days old. But both sides, my birth side, Kahapea side, and Kalama side, were musically inclined. And my Hanai dad was a Pentecostal minister. He was pure-blooded Hawaiian. My Hanai mother was British, Hawaiian, and Gilbertese from the Gilbert Islands. And because my father was a kahu, you know, we all had to learn music, Hawaiian, you know, hymns and stuff like that. So we all had to learn to play and sing. I played the accordion, my piano, ukulele. I hated the guitar. Played upright bass. Because my dad was a kahu, you know, every morning we had devotions and every evening we had devotions. So we had to sing, say our memory verse, you know, and even if we had guests come, you know, eat or whatever, and they stay late till 2 o'clock in the morning, talk started, and they would wake us up and then we would have our devotions. No matter what, we would like, you know, you get all makapia in your eye, everything, but, you know, you just gotta go do your thing. I have to say this, Hawaiian culture in our home was not accepted. Because my dad became a Christian, you know, Hanai dad was a minister in Kahu, everything that did not fit within the realm of the Baibala or the Kahalepule, the church, was considered to be lascivious, evil, and sinful. Hula was a no-no. That definitely was a no-no. Going to the movies, oh, no way, a basketball game, football, no. There was nothing like that allowed in our home. We couldn't even listen to the radio Hawaiian music. Kalama. O wau o Nathan Liberato kahikolu kahapea Kalama. O ke ia ka mo'oku au hao o ka ohana o kahapea a Kalama. E ola o ko'u ohana. E ola. My dad did not want me to go to Kamehameha schools. When I went to Kamehameha schools, it was my first real exposure to the Hawaiian culture, as limited as it was, because in the late 50s and 60s, all the way up to the mid 60s, Hawaiian culture was not a main focus of the Kamehameha schools. You know, it was go get college degree. Thank God Kamehameha schools still continued the music, because that was where we excelled. You know, through the song contest, Kamehameha school song contest, through the glee club. And I have to give credit to Antinona Beamer, who became my kumuhula from Kamehameha schools. She was the one that taught me to sing falsetto. She didn't teach me, she just said, open your mouth and sing falsetto. I go, what is that? She said, oh, you just think in your head to sing an octave higher. I go, I don't know, I'm a baritone. How you know, she said, just sing a pitch higher. She became my kumuhula. Afterwards, even after high school, I took hula from her. Although I never unikied under her. I mean, I remember feeling so Hawaiian and yet not allowed to feel Hawaiian at a Hawaiian school. So I would run away to Antinona's class just so that I could feel Hawaiian in a Hawaiian, you know, situation.
She's a little travel worn. Oh, I forgot to comb her hair. Oh, wait. Ke hala punai kamakani.
So I had her class twice a week. for my 9th grade year. And I felt like her class was like a refuge place because I could be Hawaiian, I could feel Hawaiian without having to be questioned about my Hawaiianness, or I have to check my Hawaiianness in place.
Lady Ipo Kahaunaele Ferreira and Maka Herrod are Uncle Nathan's eyes, hands, feet, and memories. They bring his creative ideas to fruition, they give and receive inspiration from him, and they spread Nathan's Hawaiian music and hula to a large audience.
Ready?
Oh, they're rolling.
Rolling,
Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
Don't get Maka started.
What year was it? So in 2001, I went to my high school reunion. I think it was the 35th high school reunion. And I felt so inspired. And that year, during that week that I was there on campus, I wrote 5 songs. And one of the songs I decided to write was to honor Auntie Nona Beamer. And so I chose the lehua blossom and compared her to the lehua blossom that lives in Pahoa. And I asked, where are you? Because I want to be so close to you. I love you so much. She would tell me whenever I went to the Big Island to go into the forest at night and listen to the kahuli shells on the trees. And when I hear that, I would think of her. And so I mentioned that in this song so that every time I hear the kahuli shells, my thoughts go to her. And as you all know, she passed away earlier this year. And I carry her in my heart. She always inspired me in everything that I did. She was the one that told me, oh, open your mouth, sing falsetto. Just like that. And so this song...
But he does.
Yeah. And this song is written as a mele ino for my kumuhula, Auntie Nona Beamer, and I've asked Lady Ipo to sing the song.
Aloha pauole e ho'olohe ke kani o kahulila. I think so fondly of you. Ahenani maoli no for sure. Kalei aloha pauole e ho'olohe ke kani o kahulila. I think so fondly of you. Honi honi usanoi o kakahiaka ahenani maolino ahenani no auhea auhea vale oe mai pua kukuna o kala hey handsome always vale oe so kiri pa ai Honi honi usanoi o kakahiaka ahenani maolino ahenani no
He hiva hiva, he hiva hiva, o enau, e ku'ulei maka mai, me ke aloha pumehana, aloha wau ia oe.
Le mokihana me ka mai le li'ili'i,
Ke ala o nauna, a he waf mai ne, he
hiva hiva
o
o enau, e ku'ulei maka mai, me ke aloha pumehana, aloha wau ia oe. Le mokihana me ka mai le li'ili'i,
ke ala o
nauna,
a he waf mai ne. Please hula, please hula oe mai ia'u, ambionu kokino e. Your swaying hips and smiling lips, koni koni i kapuai. Upi hahau oli me ka lea lea, a he sugar kela.
Nathan started the Kauai Mokihana Festival with virtually no money or audience. But over the years, this festival has grown into a week full of musical and cultural activities with competitors and audiences of all ages. They come from the U.S. mainland, other islands, Europe, Japan, and elsewhere.
You know, I dreamed it. As far as Kauai Mokihana Festival, I'm not in its full concept as it is today, but I was playing music at that time with James Ekolu Panui and Larry Kili'iduhai Longstad, and you know, I saw between the three of us that it became like a competition. You know, Larry would come and say, "Oh, I wrote a song today," and we would listen, and then Ekolu said, "Oh, I'm going to write one song then." You know, and he would go, and then we would get into this competition kind of thing about writing songs. I remember looking at the three of us and saying that if the three of us are writing music, there has to be other musicians or composers that are writing music, but there's no avenue, there's no opportunity for their music to get exposed, except maybe at a party, family party or stuff like that. And so it took me 2 years to convince Larry and Ekolu to do the composers contest. You know, for us Hawaiians, the spiritual part is just as important as the rest. So I remember sitting in the parking lot and asking Keakua that if this dream that he gave to me would be possible, that he would have to make everything, the doors open for us. We did the first composers contest in the convention hall. There was less than 50 people in the audience. And the first winner was Charlene Dyer with a song called Guava Sky.
It's another guava sky, magic beauty mirrored in my eye. It's plain to see there's no need thinking twice.
And after all the kind, we made $5 profit. And I knew that there was a whole island from Keakua that to go forward with it. And the next year we got 60-something entries.
With Maka, Nathan, and I, the other person who helped shape our life and supported Mokihana Festival, supported Maka, supported me, was Kalani Flores. And he would help with the Mokihana Festival.
Yeah.
We'd never have enough contestants. Okay, I'm gonna write one song. And for many years he participated. Okay, I'll write one song. Just like Freddie, okay, I'll write one song. Because we needed to keep pushing and getting people to write music.
Kale o Kalani, your eyes shine like the stars in the skies. Your cheeks are like rubies with eternal beauty forevermore.
one great thing about Nathan, as far as our Hawaiian music is concerned, is that with the Composers Contest at Kauai Mokihana Festival, it pushes people to document new things that are happening on Kauai and throughout the state. Because if we only sing Hene Hene Koaka, Pauli Ko Kalehua, Hola Hola Ka'a, if we only sing those music of that time, and it gives the history of what was going on in Hawaii at that time. If we don't write music for what's happening now, how are our generations later to come going to know what was happening in Hawaii? Whether in English or Hawaiian or Hapahaole, how are they going to know? So with that, to me, that's a big impact on Hawaiian music, since this is about backyard Hawaiian music. Because when Historical Society does this 50 years down the road with the kupunas, who are the little kids now, they're going to be singing our songs. They're going to be singing the songs that Nathan wrote. He's going to be the Pops Gabby Pahinui, and I'm going to be Myra English, and Maka's going to be
Kelly Rachel.
So that's important with this, the documentation and the new music that is written to show what was going on over here now in Hawaii. So we'll see what 50 years old. I better talk to my maupuna now and see who's doing what later on. But there's more and more and more and more.
It has been a true pleasure to present Preserving Kauai's Backyard Music, Volume 2. Thank you to the musicians and their supporters, and to the production crew for making this video possible. Many thanks to the generous sponsors and donors who are listed in the credits. They also made the video possible. The Kauai Historical Society sends a fond aloha to all of you. May you always be able to hear traditional Hawaiian music. Mahalo nui loa, malama pono, aloha.
Not how, but how to hold. Please do it again. Please keep right on dancing. Come on, let's do it again. You sway Hawaiian way to tell of your charms. I'm held in the spell of your arms. You talk about the moon above the treetops, spoke about the waves upon the sand. Sung about the breezes from the valley, and it's all been done with your hula hands. Not pound, don't stop it now. Please do it again. Go on a hold, not pound. One more time. Not pound, but on a hold. Please do it again. Please keep right on dancing. Come on, let's do it again. You sway Hawaiian way to tell of your charm. I'm held in the spell of your arms. You talk about the moon above the treetops, spoke about the waves upon the sands, sung about the breezes from the valley, and it's all been done with your hula hands. Not hard, don't stop it now. Please do it again. Go on, make a hit any old time, any old place. Go on.
Aloha ya Yesu, olane. Aloha ya Yesu, ke ilina imaru o e kuola inalama o e kuola amauroa e aloha ya Yesu kuolane aloha ya Yesu e hilina imau o e Aloha wau ya Yesu kuolane. Aloha wau ya Yesu e ilina imau o e kuola ina lapa. O e kuola amauloa e amauloa e. Alo dui.